Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of HermitPack here on the Zuma Patreon server. Hi, how's it going? Oh, we're getting closer. We're getting closer. Punch. Aha! How you guys doing today? Hopefully, you're all right. Myself, a little bit of frustration, but also a little bit of cool. You know, the mod pack updated today. We're now running 1.3, something like that. And with it came a couple of changes. One of them to the Guardian farm that I just built. Ugh. Seriously. Ender.io updated and added what is called an XP vacuum. Now, that's great. It's a useful block. It's right here. Yes, it is an XP vacuum. Really easy to craft. Experience rod, pulsating crystal, iron. Ta-da! It's a block that sucks in experience orbs. Now, because it has this function now, they went and removed that function from Killer Joe. So, maze of cables. Oh, I don't have my helmet on. I'm trying to turn on night vision. There we go. So Killer Joe, if we just take a little beat, no more experience. All gone. Still uses nutrient to attack, still everything the same there, just no more experience. Now it's got to come from this thing right here, which is an experience vacuum. Yeah. And it's a little frustrating that I had to install these, but they're not that bad. The one trick you have to really pay attention to about them is that you have to activate them after you craft them. Oh, hello. Where did you come from? Nothing's missing. Oh, the 2 blocks I took out for the 2 XP vacuums. Oh, we're just talking about it. Oh, that took me a second. I was genuinely confused there. So yeah, I mean, it's a good change because if you're not using Killer Joe, now I could switch to using spikes. And the XP vacuum would do the job. Which, again, kind of makes my farm a little obsolete in its design. But one day before... Yeah. So, whatever. It's all good. The farm is operational. I'm not gonna futz with it too much. You can see a little change here that Refined Storage did. You can now see the disk drives in their holders. What else has been changed? I mean, there's been a whole bunch of changes. The biggest ones, to me at least, were the XP vacuum and the removal of the Torchino mod. It's gone. It doesn't exist anymore in this mod pack. And hopefully it improves the server latency because, let's face it, they were a blessing and a curse. Because everyone wanted to use them. I mean, of course you did. They're awesome. They're so useful. Who wouldn't want to increase the tick rate of stuff? But at the same time, then, the more tick rate, the more your server's going, oh god, I have to keep up with this stuff. So yeah. So, they're gone. Too bad. So sad. We'll have to wait the normal speed for stuff. Which really sucks when it comes to this guy, because it is abysmally slow. Now, these guys are, what is this, all Tech Reborn? Yeah, this is all Tech Reborn stuff. These are grinders. They're taking netherrack and turning it into netherrack dust. It is then going into the industrial centrifuge, which, once it hits 16 netherrack dust, it will start to process the netherrack dust. It turns that into gold nuggets, redstone, whatever the heck this stuff is, basalt dust. Hey, can I make that into basalt? No, but I can centrifuge it again. And sulfur. Now, sulfur is very useful to me. As you may have noticed in previous episodes, there's a gap here. Why would I just leave a gaping hole in my base? Well, because this is where mechanism 5 times is going to go. It's a 3-machine process. The liquefier, the cleaner, the crystallizer. I believe that's what it is. Now, the cleaner needs water, the crystallizer just needs energy, the liquefier needs hydrochloric acid. Now, hydrochloric acid is one of those things that just... your brain. Things like hydrogen cyanide. Or cyanide. Hydrogen chloride. I mean, that's complicated enough. You've got to set up a tower to get brine, and then you've got to take the liquid brine and turn it into a gas, and you've got to combine that gas with hydrogen, and then you get hydrogen chloride. And that's for 4 times. Hydrochloric acid for quintupling, i.e. 5 times, requires sulfur to be turned into sulfur dioxide mixed with oxygen to turn it into hydrogen trioxide, and then mixed with water vapor to turn it into hydrochloric acid. Oy. So it's quite the process, and it's a little bit annoying. So here's the back end of the machine. This is actually outside the tech room, where you can see all the wiring. Not all the wiring, but the wiring for this side. And so the sulfur comes out here into this chemical oxidizer, turns it into sulfur dioxide. It's then piped into chemical infuser with oxygen. So you got sulfur dioxide, oxygen, makes sulfur trioxide. So I've got a gas tank of sulfur trioxide sitting and waiting for the next step. And what is the next step? Well, the next step, I need to clean this up. I actually went... oh, hey. Apparently I missed a block. I went and cleaned out underneath the floor. If you guys remember what this used to look like... actually, I'm not sure if I've ever even shown you this. I am unsure. This used to be all filled in with stone, and you'd, like, walk along the cables and be all like, doo-doo-doo, one wide passage. Here's the battery, here's the, you know, input, there's the controller for the refined storage, blah, blah, blah. Over here is mechanism quadrupling. And tripling, because here's the oxygen supply for tripling. And right here I've got water vapor ready to mix with the hydrogen hydrogen dioxide? Yes. No. Sulfur trioxide? Whatever it's called. I'm not a chemist. I'm not. But as you can see, because it wasn't cleared out prior to now, the cables are a little bit of a mess. This was all just kind of ad hoc put together after the fact, or as I needed bits and bobs. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to rip out most of the wiring and stuff like that and rerun things. Make things more compact, make things cleaner, and at the same time, I'm going to pipe over that sulfur, let's just call it that, and start the process of making the sulfuric acid. and then we'll bring you back. Is that okay? Alright. Welcome back to the new, cleaner wire room. So, for starters, I rejigged the battery. I made a couple more capacitors to make it a nice block. Wireless charger is the same spot, you know, but it's just simple wire up. It now goes into a conduit facade and then into there. And I'll show you why in a second. The wireless transmitter is now up there. Just because it has to go on the top of a cable, and I tried to keep the cables as tucked onto the ceiling as I possibly could. So we go around here. Input for item smelting. I just chiseled the block back, and we got the importer right there. And then this is a second power line, which is like the main trunk. So this basically is a dedicated power line. It powers the computer. This powers everything else. So now, this is what mechanism looks like. It's a lot more compact, isn't it? And yet it does the same thing. And more. I actually went ahead, as I said I would, and added in the sulfuric acid production. We're currently at a sulfur trioxide, but that's okay. We've got quite a bit of sulfuric acid. So it goes along the pipe here. I actually used... what we would have used in 1.7 would have been the micro blocks. Well, here it's chisel and bits, so it's still technically a micro block, but it's a cover piece, if you guys remember that. Prevent those cables from talking to each other, because this is hydrogen chloride and this is sulfuric acid. And up into the back of the ore quintupling. Now, there's a couple of issues with this. For starters, they're a pain in the butt. The sulfuric acid has to go into the left side. It really stinks. And the water has to go in the top, which also really stinks. Now, this thing also chews through water, like an incredible amount. So I'm having to use Mechanism Ultimate pipes just to keep up with it. I also then have a drum back there for a buffer of water, just so that I can keep this thing full while I'm using it, which is ridiculous. Now, normally I use these reservoirs, because they've always done what I need them to do. Well, now I've actually found a really quirky and really weird, well, quirky and weird, they're kind of synonyms, but a really efficient replacement. Like, it improves upon the performance and space of the reservoir, because the reservoir is 2x4. Look at that. That is providing probably 8 times the water flow rate that one thing is. Now, it's taking up 4 blocks, but that's just because I decided to use 4 of them. What are they? They're sinks. From cooking for blockheads. Wood logs, bucket of water, iron on top. These things are an infinite source of water, and they output water at an, like, I don't know. I can't measure the rate, or I didn't measure the rate, but faster than the reservoirs do. It's funny. So I'm gonna have to make a panel, like just a chisel and bits panel for that. That's no problem. This one is the problem, because it's a connected texture, and when you do the chisel and bits, it doesn't do connected texture. So I don't know what I want to do. We'll figure something out. Anyway, so the reason why I had that conduit facade right there is to power this guy. This is the power monitor. Well, the graphical power monitor. So I can do this, which allows me to check the state of my battery without going down below. And as you can see, we ain't doing so good. We're at, I mean, I can go down and you can see like, we're losing power right now because it's nighttime, but, like, I was running the mech quintupler for a little bit, and, I mean, it just sucks so much power. And, okay, eventually during the day, our current solar panels would do it. But it's not enough. So let's make it daytime and come back down here, and we can see. It'll switch to in. You know, it's not that great. It isn't. I mean, I realize it's not peak day yet, but it only gets to about 1100, 1200. So we need to improve that, especially with what I have planned. Because, believe it or not, cleaning up the tech room was not the plan. It will work towards the plan, but it was not the plan. So I also went and laid out this wire here. Now, that is for a new set of solar panels, because right now, this is what we're running on. This array, these are Tier 3 Ender.io solar panels. They're decent, but they only produce 160 RF a tick. Now, I've been using these since we started this server. Like, I mean, it was sufficient at first, but it's not anymore. So now, what we're going to use is environmental tech. Now, they have a very efficient solar panel. I shouldn't necessarily say efficient, but it produces a fair bit of power. So if we quickly pop back down and underneath, you can see, there we go. That's about the peak. So about 1250 RF a tick. And yeah, so we place this thing down, and then we take this assembler, and we just kind of go boop. Oh look, there's a spot. Blocks, 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 and we can just hold right click until we have our view blocked. Ding! Structure complete. So that's a new multi-block solar panel. And it should be providing us with a whole bunch more power. I'm just trying to sneak and see. I think that arrow is good. If we go down, I don't think the graph is going to show anything. Let's switch it to a minute. No, it's not showing anything. Boom! Look at that. So from 1250 to 7340. What a boost! Like, that's rocketing up there. Absolutely crazy. And those aren't necessarily that expensive. The biggest cost is lapis, because you need these solar cells, and those require the photovoltaic cells, and that's lapis. And I actually did end up running out of lapis in crafting that thing. But yeah, I'm running a tier 2 solar panel, and there's a tier 3 and a tier 4. The thing is, though, is those require mica, which is only gotten from the void resource miner. You know, 0.82% chance, or if you're using the white lens, a 4.59% chance. Well, alright. I would like to get some mica. So that's the plan. Let's get some mica. So I also, in my little bag here, have a void resource miner tier 1. It's not tier 2. I probably could have gone for tier 2. Ore miner or resource miner. There we go. Yeah, see, I mean, I could go for tier 2, but let's just stick with tier 1 right now, get some mica, and we'll go from there. Because I have no clue how much power this is going to take. I also have no clue how big this actually is. Oh, whoops. So what I'm wanting to do is... Oh, this is even numbers. I was kind of wanting to make a bit of a display out of it, so that you can, like, see it in action. But it'll have to be off-center, if so. And in both ways. So that's a little disappointing. So maybe we'll just say no. I'm gonna assume that this is the topmost block. Let's find out. Let's right click. Oh. Do. Whoa, hello. You know what? I really need chat on to see that. Is it? Yes, okay. It is complete. Now, the only problem is we are going to have to dig that down to bedrock, which is not very far, because we're already at Y33. There we go. Bedrock. Alright, and then we just click. There we go. Multi-block assembly complete. And boom, it's firing its laser. It's firing a laser. Now, there's no interface or anything like that. But from what I understand, we just need to connect a cable to it. Like that, to give it power, and a chest to get drops from it. Because, like, anytime I've ever seen someone use it, they just put a chest on it, and it works. Does it have to be up against that thing, though? Is the question. Yes, there we go. It's got us a piece of dirt! Woohoo! We got a piece of dirt. And now we got some puzzle. Yay! Alright, let's see if we can pull items out with an item conduit. So let's do something like that. Extract items. You're on insert items. Ooh. I'm pretty sure I can, because I just got a piece of netherrack. Any more? One more piece? Ah, endstone. Woo! So there we go. The Void Resource Miner is built. I mean, it's tier 1, so it's not like it's super impressive. But that's pretty cool. So what we can do is run this item line all the way down. Bing! And all it has to do is connect to there. And now this chest is not needed. Oh, we already got a piece of mica. Look at that. So now it's going to import right there. And it got us a piece of alabaster. Boop. There it goes. The computer took it. Auto import into the computer. Perfect. that actually doesn't take up that much room. Do the higher tiers take more room? Because, like, I could probably put, like, the void resource miner there, too, then. Ah, nice. And it's not taking that much power. That new solar panel is doing a peach. So let's just stick that stuff in there. That in there, that. You can stay with me for right now, because you never know. And then we can search for mica. And yeah, we already have the one piece. Now, I mean, the mica is used in, like, tier 3, tier 4 stuff. I'll probably want to get all the way up to a tier 4 solar panel, just because, I mean, nether stars, not a problem. Thanks to the Book of Alkahestry, I got a few. Sadly, the Tome of Alkahestry has been fixed. Some would call it nerfed. It's actually been fixed. There was a bug with it where it wasn't actually consuming the redstone that was put into it for its operations. And so you could basically infinitely duplicate stuff for free. Yeah, they fixed that now. It now costs redstone as it should. Which is fine. I have no issue with that. We grow redstone. We got all those redstone plants up there. So yeah, no problem. But I like it. I wish there was, like, an interface, something I could, you know, configure, confuddle with. I'm assuming that right there, all I would have to do is break that and replace it with a lens, because, like, these lenses do different things. So, like, the red one, void ore miner, void resource miner, there you go. See, it increases the chance of things. Like, from my understanding, the resource and the ore miners will get everything. But the lenses increase the chances of certain things. So if I'm looking for, you know, in the ore miner, like, I need redstone, because, you know, we were just talking about the Tome of Alkahestry, it eats redstone. I would want to use a red lens on the void miner, so that I get double the % chance of redstone ore. Now, I'm not sure if it's Silk Touch, I'm not sure if it's Fortune, or if it's just, it's free resources, take what you can get. Now, the other thing that I was thinking of, rather than the Void Ore Miner, was Extra Utilities Quantum Quarry, which, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, it requires a nether star, but that's, like I just showed you, not a problem. Bunch of stone burnt, end stone, end rod, not a problem. I can afford that easy. The question is, which one's better? Do I invest in getting a tier 4 resource miner from Environmental Tech, or do I go for the Quantum Quarry from Extra Utilities? I'm going to have to determine that before I invest. For right now, I think that will about do it for today. It will. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the episode. Hopefully it was fun, maybe a little bit informative. You got to learn about the weirdness that is the sink making more water than the reservoir. Yeah, go figure that one out. But yeah, so we got our new solar panel, which was really easy. We got our new resource miner, which was also really easy. Environmental Tech, so easy. You just right click with that little baton and it just assembles stuff. It's great. And most importantly, we cleaned up the tech. And we got the quintuple set up in place with, some setbacks, hazards, inconveniences. That's what we'll call them. They're inconvenient. So, that will about do it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. If you did, be sure to leave me a like, give me a comment, let me know what you thought. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe so that I can catch you in the next episode. Bye-bye.